This is our monthly visit with the city of Hutchinson. Mayor Goss is home with a sick child, and Councilman Jon Richardson is stepping in. Thank you for coming in at such a late notice.
It's just fine. Yeah, no problem.
All right. You posted something last week or the week before concerning property taxes and tax values, and I think that caught my interest. I don't know how much interest or how much feedback you got from that post, but it seemed like everybody's complaining that the city and the county have the highest tax rates, but it doesn't look like that if you read this Department of Revenue map.
Yeah, and there's multiple pieces of information on the Department of Revenue site, and I'd actually pulled some of those out in a previous post. There's some maps that separate mill levies in different areas of the state. There's some maps that illustrate tax rates. The one I posted had to do with the amount of tax dollars accumulated per capita. So the total amount of taxes paid in basically property tax to for our county divided by the amount of people in our county. And it's not really a good measurement of how we do as individuals, as it's a good measurement of how we compare to other counties based on taxes per person. But, going on to the county GIS and looking at the tax reports for individual properties, it's all public information. You can look at trends over the last 20 years on a per property basis and see how taxes have increased on an individual level.
Yeah, you can go back and I did some research myself because I was looking at my mom's property because I don't live in Reno County, so I kind of use her tax history,
right.
and you see that consistent. Looks like it's not like it's a big jump every year, but it's enough of a jump that the taxes go up every year.
Yeah, and if each taxing entity we have various taxing entities. So in Reno County, Hutchinson, we're somewhere around 160 some mills once you add it all together. And the city of Hutchinson sitting at about 42 mills right now. We've been at 44 mills back in 2019. We got down to about 40 mills. We're back up to about 42 mills. But that's all adjusted based on anticipation of where property values are going to be. So as property values are evaluated and looked at based on what sales are going for in the area, mixing that in with our costs that we're dealing with, because the city, county, and all the other municipal organizations that tax are also dealing with inflation as well. So even when we cut things out, it's to offset some of the inflation the inflation pressures we have on our budgets.
All right. That being said, let's take a step and look forward to some other things. Recently, you guys, well, I say you guys, but the city of Hutchinson, the city of South Hutchinson, and Reno County had a joint work session up at the event center there on North Plum Street. What came out of that?
Basically, what came out of it is we all agreed to, there's two things. One, the Evergy project right now. What came out of that is we're basically going to say, hey, we're going to put a pause on any annexation plans. Let's get this project going, let it get moving, and as they need resources or things come available, we'll decide which entity is best suited to handle those resources. And it could be South Hutch, could be Hutchinson, but we don't know that yet. So let's not get in a rush to annex. Let's let Evergy get started on their project and get going, and we will adjust as a team on who has the best resources and how to best handle this as a team. That's Reno County, South Hutch, and Hutchinson.
So it's I hate to put it this way because it is a power plant, but it's kind of stopped the power grab from the governmental organizations to annex that project. There
were conflicting communications between the two entities on what was happening and how it needed to happen. There was more of a traditional. The announcement made, I don't know, a year or two ago that this is a Hutchinson project. And I've reminded people, outside of our area, people may not realize that Hutchinson and South Hutchinson are two different cities. So if you call someone in Topeka and say, I'm from South Hutchinson, they may be thinking you're from the southern part of Hutchinson. They may not realize it's two different cities. So there could easily be communication errors there. But we're also looking at this as, we are in a lot of ways one community with two different cities.
And I see that the non-annexation agreement is on tomorrow night's agenda.
Correct. Yeah, we've pretty much all agreed to, the county, the city of South Hutchinson, city of Hutchinson. We're going to play together really well. Right. We're going to work on this really well. We all vocalize that we want to work as a team. How do we organized to work together as a team.
So outside of that project, are there any other things or items that the three entities have that they need to work together closer?
There are there are some businesses looking at the area. This has been going on since we had the industrial park annexation a year or two ago, right? So with the Evergy project going, it's created a lot more interest. And a lot of those projects we can't really talk about because they don't want anything announced until they make a decision. But we have to organize how we're going to work together with our resources and pool them to where the three entities are stronger working together and decide how we're going to do this as a team for future economic development in that area.
And it's not just necessarily that area. I mean, we're talking about economic development countywide because that is the chamber is a big driving force into developing and luring new businesses into the area.
Correct. And Hutchinson isn't an island unto itself. We do listen to other economic drivers around our area. If the closer you get to the physical limits of Hutchinson, the more apt we are and we have more abilities to help provide services. It would be unlikely that an industrial user down in the southwestern part of the county would use resources from Hutchinson.
All right. So we are talking with Councilmember Jon Richardson this morning on the BW Morning Show. We'll be back with more with him right after this short break. Back on the BW Morning Show this morning, we are talking with Councilmember Jon Richardson. Everybody asked, Woody seat.
We will have an update on Woody's seat tomorrow night at the city council meeting. I do know that.
All right. So yeah, we see a lot. I see a lot of pictures, and Nick is good at providing images from the project, and we look at those and think, well, how close can it get? But now that we're in the really cold months, it's hard to lay run-con cement. It's hard to asphalt. You're a contractor, you know.
Yeah, there's some challenges with that, and we had a interesting fall. We had a long stretch where we didn't have much rain, which was great, but we also had stretches where we had a lot of moisture. It rained every 2 or 3 days,
right?
Which it holds things up when you're trying to pour concrete.
Yeah, I mean, I feel sorry because my neighbor ripped out his driveway 2 weeks ago, and they were supposed to start laying today. So I imagine that no cement is going to be put in that driveway today.
Probably unlikely, yeah.
Another hotbed issue, and I know it's not necessarily what I want to say a city council issue, but the county commission brought this up because of capers and stuff that was coming down, from what I understand, coming down from Topeka. Hey, these guys are not getting paid enough for what they're doing. Is there any, we're talking about compensation for elected officials?
I can't speak too well on the county. On the city side of things, the city council members do not get paid. And all of us on city council, we ran knowing that is the case. Being on city council, there are some costs associated with being on city. You're running all over the place. There's travel, there's time off work and things like that. So I brought up a couple of weeks ago the idea that I think we should discuss it, if not to make money, but just to offset the costs of being on city council. And not for anyone currently on city council, I would say for future elected officials, not for anyone currently on city council. And the whole reason why, for me, is trying to open up people, a broader pool of people who could actually run for city council. People can't afford the time or cost to be on city council. Right. They just won't run at all.
I think that was one of the driving concerns that from gathering from what I've talked to a couple county commissioners, and that was the driving concern there is they feel that if you're not old enough to retire or you have a business or something like that, it's limiting the pool of potential candidates for the office because of the time that's required.
It is. And so if you have a 9-to-5 job and your ability to take time off unpaid to serve, because we take half days and full days to go represent the city of Hutchinson on a regular basis. To do the job right, you've got to take time off work. That's just part of it. And Hutchinson, whether it's deserved or not, there's a lot of people that have a conception that only the well-to-dos or the good old boys or the elites make the decisions in town. And having a system set up where only people that have the time or can afford to be on city council it feeds that narrative a little bit. And I'm all for if we can find another way to open up the pool for people to be able to run for city council or for county commissioner or whatnot. It's a problem in every rural community. We don't see people running for positions, especially the smaller towns and the smaller groups.
Right, because this isn't like a position like, and I hate to refer back to it, but Sedgwick County, where their commissioners are paid a big salary because they meet every week. They have all these other responsibilities that they have to go. So there's a greater financial reimbursement to them via salary than, say, you guys or commissioners in Bueller or commissioners, in any small town.
It's an elected volunteer position, and that's fine. And I fully believe in that. But I also don't think it should actually cost you to be on a council or a board. I think there should be a way to offset the cost to where you can afford to do it.
Right, and
not as a job.
Right, and it's not designed, and it's like somebody once told me back when the Constitution was written, it was not written for representatives and senators to make this a career.
No,
I mean that's not what it was written for, and you guys are the epitome of that because you guys get no reimbursement.
Correct. There's no reimbursement, but it takes a lot of time, and it does cost you out of pocket to do these positions, and people don't realize that, I don't think.
All right, John, I thank you for your service to the city because your term is up, and
I'm
you
done
did
here
not
in a few weeks.
You are done in a few weeks.
That's
and
right.
Free and ready to concentrate on your business. So
And
I thank you for your time on council.
I'm on other boards too, so
Right.
I'll be doing that.
Okay, all right. We have been talking with Jon Richardson this morning. He is the city council person for the Northwest District. He will be replaced, I believe, Mayor Goss has that position coming up in January. So we'll be back with more BW News right after this.